So welcome back to my channel. Hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that like and subscribe button to see more content. If you want to see more videos, look at my channel. There's a bunch of videos on this bike and my other bike as well. But today we're going to talk about the things that I don't like about the 2006 Suzuki SV650. But before we get into all that, let me just take a quick moment and tell you what all I've done to this bike. Pretty much the maintenance stuff, spark plugs, oil change, brake fluid exchange. I put new EBC brake pads, front and rear, the 8/8 centered pads. I put these cool brand new Michelin Pilot Road 5s on here, thanks to my friend John, so shout out to him. Let's see, I put these grips on here. These are just some Amazon grips, nothing fancy, but they work great, they look good, they do the job. And also the bar ends, also Amazon. Lubed all the levers and the foot controls. Also, I rebuilt the master cylinder on it, the rear master cylinder, and flushed the brake fluid out. I forgot that I actually ordered a rear brake hose. I just got notified from Revzilla that they shipped today. I totally forgot that I did that, so I'm going to be changing that out, even though I just bled the brakes yesterday. I guess I'll be redoing that, but that's cool too. Other than that, I can't think of anything. Washed it, cleaned it, looking good. But hey, there's some things that I don't like about the SV650. So let's take a ride and talk about it. So one of the main things I don't like, and then, by the way, this is a 2006, in case you missed it. One of the big things I don't like is there's no fuel gauge on this thing. What the hell? If I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, my 1998 GSXR 750 had one. I could be wrong, but I could have swore it had one. Anyway, so I haven't actually put a full tank of gas through this bike, so I don't know if, you know, how many miles you can go on the tank of gas. I have no idea. But this one only has 6 miles on this tank. So, I don't know. Stay tuned and we'll find out. The other thing, number 2, that I don't like about this bike, and there's no gear indicator on it. I guess I'm spoiled and I'm used to having a gear indicator, and this bike definitely doesn't have one. So you kind of got to go back old school and just remember what the hell gear you're in. Because if you don't, then you'll be shifting through trying to figure out where you are. I guess I'm just used to it now. All my bikes in the last, I say, decade had gear indicators, so I guess I'm just used to it. So gotta go back old school. I know my GSXR 750 didn't have a gear indicator, so I guess, you know, back to old school method. So you just gotta kind of remember what gear you're in. You get spoiled when you get all these new goodies, you know, all this high-tech stuff. Number 3, the third thing I don't like about it is there's no slipper clutch on this bike. By the way, you gotta remember that if you don't have a slipper clutch, this thing will check you if you get a little saucy, and it has already checked me one time. If you have riding experience, it still surprises you every now and then, but it's not that big a deal. But if you don't have a lot of riding experience and you get a little froggy on this thing, it will remind you that it does not have a slipper clutch. Oh, someone's got a fire going. So it happened to me. I got a little saucy on the downshifts, and next thing you know, the back end locks up on me just for a quick moment, but it caught me off guard. Now nothing happened, but it'll surprise you if you're not careful. So no slipper clutch. Let's see, number 3, third thing I don't like about this bike, and that would be the fact that it has 0 electronics. Again, I'm going back to the rider aids and all those rider modes and ABS. This thing does not have ABS. It is basically a plain simple bike. You got the gas, the clutch, and the brakes, and that's it. There's nothing to help you. So in today's time, you know, even the lower end bikes, they have rider aids, whatnot, at least ABS, some traction control, things of that nature. But this bike doesn't have any of that, so you got to go back to the old school method. And if you haven't rode a bike like this, and then all of a sudden you get on one, it just kind of reminds you of how motorcycling used to be. And it brings back memories of my GSXR. Another thing I don't like about this bike, and maybe it's just me or the way the bike is built and the way I sit on it, but these mirrors, you can't see jack crap in behind you. I can see my elbows real well, and so I get a nice view of my elbows. But if I want to see behind me, I got to tuck my elbow in and kind of tilt my head a little bit to see behind me, because I can't see a thing. No matter how I adjust them, I can't see behind me. So you definitely have to replace these mirrors with something else, or get bar-end mirrors or something, because these things are useless. And the last thing I can think of right off the top of my head that I don't like personally about this bike is this dash cluster and this whole assembly that we have up here. I am not a fan of this look. I know that, well, let's go in here. I know that this is a 2006, and sometimes in 2006 they made bikes that just were not, you know, pleasing to the eye, I guess, in today's standards. But this, I gotta say, happens to be one of the ugliest dash clusters I've seen. I know the newer ones have that LCD display, like 2017 and up, and that's great. But this one, even for a 2006 model, it's got to be one of the ugliest dashes. I'm just not a fan of the way this whole cluster looks. I do like the mini fly screen, although it doesn't really do anything because the wind still hits me square in the chest. But I like the looks of this little cowl they got up here. But this dash cluster and the way this triple tree looks is just not that pleasing. But again, that's a personal preference. And while we're on the topic, let's talk about this this clutch lever here. There's no adjustment on it, and they got this silly little Buddha over top of it. If you give me an adjustable brake handle, why can't you give me an adjustable clutch lever? So I guess you could replace it aftermarket, but hey, it is a very inexpensive bike, even in 2006 times. So I guess you can't really ask for much. But overall, I can't really say anything else negative about this bike. Everything I can say is just positive. It really is a great bike, and that's really the only negative things I can come up with. So hey, if you have an SV650, especially this model year or older one, leave a comment below. Tell me what you like and don't like about it. My next video will be the things that I like about this bike. So if you want to see that video, stay tuned for the next one. We'll talk about the things I do like about this bike. And anyway, I guess I will catch you guys on the next video, and thanks for watching.